Hello from Mindset Daily, wishing you a day full of health, peace, and happiness. Thank you for watching the Mindset Daily channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe to support us. Thank you so much. Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night and felt like something was calling you? Why is it always between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. when the world is silent and your spirit's suddenly alert? Could it be more than restlessness? Could it be a divine appointment? Picture this. The world outside is asleep, everything is still, and your eyes suddenly open. You weren't startled by an alarm. No loud noise disturbed your rest. Yet there you are, awake, fully, deeply awake, between the hours of 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. You lie there in the dark, heart steady, mind quietly aware, sensing something you can't quite explain. It's as if your soul knows something is different. Many will tell you it's stress. Others might chalk it up to anxiety or an overactive mind that hasn't shut off. But what if it's something more? What if waking up at this specific time isn't a coincidence, but a calling? There's something sacred about these early morning hours. During the day, everything moves fast. Distractions pull at you from every direction. The noise of life is constant. But between 3 and 5 a.m., time seems to slow down. The air feels stiller. The space around you somehow more spiritual. Heaven and earth feel just a little closer. In this rare, quiet window, before the sun rises and the chaos begins, you are presented with a choice: roll over and go back to sleep, or rise to meet something greater. So the next time you find yourself wide awake during these hours, don't waste the moment. It may not be restlessness, it may be revelation. In the next section, we'll explore the first reason why this hour is often referred to as the spiritual awakening hour, and why your soul might be more awake than your body realizes. In the stillness of those early morning hours, when the world is hushed and the distractions of the day are nowhere to be found, something sacred happens. The soul begins to hear what it couldn't hear before. For centuries, people of faith have recognized this window between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. as deeply significant. In Scripture, we see this hour repeatedly referenced during the night watches. It was during these quiet hours that men and women cried out to God, seeking guidance, pleading for strength, waiting for answers. It was in this holy solitude that visions were given, revelations were spoken, and hearts were stirred toward a greater calling. Even across cultures and spiritual traditions, this time is considered a spiritual awakening hour, a moment when the supernatural feels nearer, when the mind is more still and the soul becomes more open. Why do so many people suddenly awaken at this hour, sometimes night after night? Could it be that something within them is longing, aching to be heard? As the mind breaks free from the noise of the day, clarity begins to surface. The burdens you carried, the fears you ignored, the questions you buried, they rise to the surface in the dark. And in that silence, you are faced with a choice. Most people, when they find themselves awake at this hour, do one of two things. They either force themselves to fall back asleep, or they reach for their phone, scrolling through distraction after distraction, just to numb the quiet. But what if you didn't run from it this time? What if this moment wasn't a disruption, but a divine invitation? This hour demands your attention for a reason. It's when your thoughts are the clearest, your emotions the rawest, and your spirit the most sensitive. It's often in these very moments that people remember things they had buried, dreams they once cherished, passions they left behind, mistakes they never truly faced. So, what if instead of turning away, you leaned in? In the next part, we'll talk about the second powerful thing you should do if you wake up during these hours, and how it could shift not only your morning, but your entire life. So if these early hours stir something within you, memories, emotions, longings, don't dismiss it. Because what happens next might be the most important part of your awakening. It's often during this sacred window that inspiration quietly breaks through. Creative ideas begin to form, and answers seem to come from nowhere, unexpected, yet perfectly timed. With the distractions of the world momentarily silenced, the mind finally has space to process what truly matters. But even deeper than thoughts or reflection, something profound happens in the heart. The soul begins to speak, not in loud declarations, but in quiet truths. In the stillness, you meet your truest self. No performance, no pretending, just raw, honest clarity. Many people, when they wake at this hour, describe an unexplained sense of urgency, a weight in their spirit, a gentle, persistent prompting. Sometimes it's a person who suddenly enters your mind, someone you haven't thought about in years, yet now you feel a strong pull to reach out. Other times, it's a decision you've been avoiding, one you know in your heart you can no longer run from. And in other moments, it's a wave of gratitude so deep it takes your breath away. Gratitude for your life, for another day, for simply being here. But not everyone wakes up with peace. Some are met with fear, anxiety rising like a tide, regrets from the past demanding attention, and tomorrow's worries pressing heavier in the silence. The failures of yesterday echo louder. The uncertainties ahead loom closer. It can feel overwhelming. And yet, here in this quiet hour, you have a choice. You can allow those fears to weigh you down, or you can surrender. You can release the burden. You can trade fear for faith, doubt for hope, and turmoil for peace. Because this hour isn't just about being physically awake. It's about waking up spiritually. It's a holy reminder that there is more to life than what you've settled for, and that something greater is calling. Up next, we'll explore how this divine moment can shift from inner stirring to outward transformation, and what to do when you feel that spiritual nudge. What if waking up in the early hours wasn't just about confronting your emotions or recalling forgotten dreams, but about aligning with something deeper? A calling? A purpose? Life is more than routines, deadlines, and a constant race for success. Beneath it all, there's a quiet, persistent invitation, something unseen but deeply felt. Some people call it intuition, others divine guidance. No matter what name you give it, the truth remains the same. This moment is not meaningless. Throughout history, many of the most profound revelations, life-altering decisions, and spiritual breakthroughs have happened not in the noise of the day, but in the stillness of the early morning. When the world is asleep, the soul often wakes. It is in that silent space where direction comes to the lost, where strength is found in surrender, and where the most important battles are fought, not with weapons, but with prayer, conviction, and quiet resolve. It's in these hours that countless men and women have stood at a crossroads and chosen a new path. So, the next time you wake up between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., don't shrug it off. Don't scroll. Don't silence that inner stirring. Be still. Be present. Listen closely. You may find that this exact moment, this very hour, is not just a disruption of sleep, it's the beginning of an awakening. That leads us to the second thing you should do: align yourself with purpose. Purpose isn't something you simply stumble upon, or something handed to you with a clear label. It isn't neatly wrapped, waiting at your doorstep. Purpose is something you grow into. It's something revealed through trials, shaped by struggle, sharpened by moments of clarity, and even by seasons of doubt. But here's the beautiful truth. Inside every single person is a seed of purpose, a unique calling, a path designed just for them. Some people recognize it early, like a compass set from childhood. Others spend years, sometimes decades, searching, questioning, and wondering. Some embrace it with courage, while others resist it out of fear of failure, fear of change, or fear of what purpose might demand of them. Still, one truth remains. And in the next part, we'll uncover why waking up in this hour might be your invitation to finally step into that purpose you've carried all along. Discovering your purpose often begins with a whisper, a tug on your heart that grows louder in the silence of early morning. And when that whisper becomes impossible to ignore, you face a powerful decision. Will you keep living by default, or will you begin to live with intention? The truth is, there is no lasting fulfillment, no deep peace, until we align our lives with the purpose for which we were created. We live in a world filled with noise, expectations, responsibilities, distractions, each one pulling us in a different direction, each one trying to shape our choices and define our worth. From the time we're young, we're taught what success should look like. We're shown which dreams are safe, which goals are acceptable, and which paths are realistic. And many, far too many, end up living lives that don't reflect who they truly are. They work jobs they secretly resent. They chase achievements that feel hollow. They pour energy into goals that never truly satisfied them. They climb the ladder of success, only to reach the top and realize they leaned it against the wrong wall. And yet, even amidst all the noise, even in the midst of busyness and routine, there's a quiet voice that doesn't go away. A voice that speaks when you're alone. A voice that rises through dissatisfaction, through restlessness, through that deep, unshakable feeling that there's something more. That voice often grows louder in the early hours of the morning, when you're wide awake and everything is still. It's in those moments that your heart whispers, "This isn't it. There's more for you." And in that space, you're given a choice. You can ignore it, roll over, and return to the familiar path of least resistance. Or you can listen. You can pause. You can ask the deeper questions that lead to the path you were meant to walk all along. Aligning with your purpose doesn't mean following a flawless, step-by-step script. It means coming into agreement with who you truly are. It means removing the layers, the false expectations, the roles you played to please others, the masks you've worn to feel accepted. It's about returning to the core of who you were created to be. And in the next part, we'll explore how those quiet morning hours can become the space where clarity is born, and how to begin walking in purpose with confidence and courage. After beginning to recognize the weight of true purpose, the next step is often the hardest. Facing the questions we usually avoid. Questions like, why am I here? What was I truly created to do? What is that one thing that stirs my soul in a way nothing else does? These are not easy questions. In fact, most people avoid asking them, not because they don't matter, but because they do. Deep down, many fear the answers, because purpose, real purpose, always demands something in return. It requires sacrifice. It calls for change. It pushes us to grow. And perhaps most of all, it demands courage. The moment you begin to step toward your purpose, resistance will come. Doubts will rise from within. Criticism may come from without. People may misunderstand you. Some might question your path, and others may even try to convince you to turn back. But here's the truth. Purpose is not about pleasing people. It's about honoring the calling you've been given. Some people have known their purpose for years, but buried it beneath layers of fear, under the weight of, I'm not ready, I'm not good enough, or I'm not qualified. But here's what many forget. Purpose isn't about being perfectly ready. It's about being genuinely willing. It's about taking one step and then another, even if the path ahead is still unclear. It's about trusting that what's been placed inside you isn't random. Your gifts are not accidents. Your passion has a purpose. The dreams you carry, they were planted for a divine reason. And purpose? It's not always loud or obvious. It doesn't always show up in headlines or heroic acts. Often it's quiet. It's found in the everyday, in the small decisions, in the way we love others, in how we show up when no one's watching. Sometimes your greatest impact is made in silent faithfulness. Purpose is about alignment, not just with what we do, but with who we are. It's about walking in harmony with the deeper truth etched into our soul. When we live from that place, when our outer life reflects our inner calling, everything changes. Struggles no longer seem meaningless. Setbacks become part of the story. Even the pain has purpose. And in the next section, we'll explore the third and final thing to do when you wake between 3 and 5 a.m. Something that brings it all together in a powerful way. As we discovered in the previous part, aligning with our true purpose brings clarity to life's struggles. It sheds light on the why behind the pain and the meaning within every challenge. Pain, once seemingly pointless, begins to reveal its purpose. The obstacles we've battled suddenly show the lessons they carried all along. That's the beauty of purpose. It doesn't make hardship disappear, but it redefines it. It turns trials into testimonies. It reshapes setbacks into stepping stones. It transforms our failures into priceless lessons. Lessons that carve us into the people we were always meant to become. But walking in purpose requires something many struggle to do. It requires letting go. Letting go of fear. The fear that says you're not ready, not worthy, not enough. Letting go of the voices that speak doubt over your dreams. Letting go of the need for validation, for approval, for a perfect plan. Because purpose rarely comes with a detailed map. Instead, it comes with a call to trust, a call to faith, a call to step out even when the path ahead is blurry. To truly align with your purpose, you must be willing to surrender what is not in alignment. That means trading comfort for courage, trading what's easy for what's eternal. Because purpose isn't just about doing, it's about becoming. It's waking up with a fire inside that doesn't flicker with circumstance. It's facing each day with a sense of calling, knowing deep in your bones that you are not here by chance. Your life is not random. You were created with intention. You were born with a reason. So when that inner voice calls, when the stirring in your soul refuses to quiet, listen closely. Because your purpose is near, alignment is possible, and the life you're meant to live, it's far closer than you think. Now that we've explored the awakening and the alignment, it's time to move into the final piece, the action. Let's talk about the real, practical steps that lead to lasting transformation. Transformation isn't a destination you arrive at one day. It's a journey you walk daily, and it never happens by accident. It's not a passive process or something that magically unfolds while you stay the same. True transformation requires intentionality. It is built on a series of deliberate steps, taken one after the other, moving you from where you are now to where you were always meant to be. Let's be honest, change is uncomfortable. It asks you to stretch beyond what's familiar. It calls you out of your routines and into new territory. It demands the sacrifice of comfort, the discipline to keep going, and the courage to confront your own fears. And yet, despite all of this, transformation is entirely possible for anyone who is willing to begin. But here's the key: action is required. You can read, hope, pray, visualize, but none of it creates change without movement. You can wish for growth, but it will stay out of reach unless you decide to take that first step. And that first action step, it's the simplest and most powerful of all, the decision to change. Change never starts on its own. It always begins with a decision, a moment when you finally say, this is no longer working. I need something different. It happens when you look at your life honestly and admit that something needs to shift. Maybe it's your mindset. Maybe it's your habits. Maybe it's your relationships, your job, or even your physical health. For some, this moment of decision is triggered by a personal wake-up call, a heartbreak, a failure, a breakdown that forces reflection. For others, it's a quiet but steady realization that they've outgrown their current life, that their soul is longing for more. Either way, that decision becomes the starting point, the turning of a page. It's the moment you stop settling. It's the beginning of a new story. So what's the next chapter? Once you've made the decision, how do you begin to build lasting change? Let's take that next step together. Once you've made the powerful decision to change, the next step brings both challenge and liberation. Taking full responsibility for your life. We live in a world where it's far too easy to shift the blame. When things go wrong, we often point to circumstances, past wounds, or even other people. And yes, life throws real obstacles our way. But transformation doesn't begin with blame. It begins with ownership. You cannot move forward while clinging to a victim mindset. True growth starts the moment you look in a mirror and say, "This is my life, and I take full responsibility for it." This shift isn't about guilt, it's about empowerment. Because once you acknowledge that your decisions, your actions, and even your beliefs have shaped where you are today, something remarkable happens. You reclaim your power. You stop waiting for someone else to fix things. You stop giving away your influence. You become the architect of your future, not just the survivor of your past. Responsibility is the foundation of transformation. It's the soil in which growth takes root. But that growth needs more than just responsibility. It needs direction. And that's where the next essential element comes in: clarity of vision. Without a clear vision, it's easy to wander, to lose momentum, to get discouraged. As the old saying goes, if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. But transformation demands a destination. You must see, with as much detail as possible, who you are becoming and where you are headed. This isn't just about goals, it's about identity. A true vision goes deeper than a to-do list. It's the vivid image of your future self. The one who has faced fear and moved through it. The one who stands strong after setbacks. The one who radiates purpose and lives with conviction. Your vision becomes the compass that keeps you aligned when life's winds try to blow you off course. So what does your future look like? What kind of person do you see when you close your eyes and dare to imagine your highest potential? Up next, let's talk about how to move that vision from imagination into reality, step by step. Now that you've envisioned the person you're becoming, it's time to build the bridge between who you are and who you're meant to be. A plan of action. Having a clear vision gives you direction, but a plan gives you traction. It's what takes your dream out of the clouds and grounds it in reality. You can picture the best version of yourself, someone who overcomes adversity, lives with purpose, and inspires those around them. But without a plan, that vision remains just that, a dream. Transformation doesn't happen by chance. It doesn't come from wishful thinking or overnight change. It happens through deliberate steps, small, consistent moves that accumulate into life-altering shifts. This is why crafting a clear, step-by-step action plan is essential. Your plan should be detailed, but flexible, structured yet realistic. It should break your big goal into smaller, manageable milestones. These milestones not only keep the momentum going, but they make the journey feel less overwhelming and more achievable. Whether you're seeking change in your health, career, mindset, or relationships, each area will require thoughtful strategy. For example, if your goal is physical transformation, your plan might include changes to your nutrition, a realistic workout routine, and daily mindset work to build resilience. If you're aiming for a career breakthrough, your steps might involve skill building, networking, and setting aside dedicated time for learning and growth. Each transformation is unique, but every one of them demands a roadmap. And once you have your plan, the next crucial ingredient is consistency. This is where transformation is truly tested. It's not in the grand moments of motivation. It's in the quiet, often unrecognized days where you show up anyway. Transformation is not a sprint. It's a marathon of faith, focus, and repeated action. So how do you stay consistent when motivation fades? How do you keep going when progress feels slow or invisible? Let's explore that in the next part. Consistency may be the foundation, But in the process of transformation, it's natural to hit moments where things feel slow or stagnant. When progress is hard to see, it's easy to feel discouraged. But that's exactly when you need to remind yourself. Transformation is not an instant event. It's a daily choice, a process that unfolds step by step. Real change doesn't arrive overnight. It builds through repetition, through your willingness to show up again and again, even on the days when you're tired, unmotivated, or uncertain. Consistency isn't about perfection. It's not about having flawless routines or always hitting every goal. It's about small, steady steps that compound over time. Think of it this way. Even the smallest habit, when repeated daily, has the power to reshape your life. Whether it's choosing to wake up earlier, spend 10 minutes in focused reflection, or simply making one healthier choice each day. These small actions build momentum. And soon, what once felt like a struggle becomes second nature. But as with any significant journey, resistance will come. And it often comes in disguise through fear, self-doubt, procrastination, or the pull of old habits trying to drag you back. The version of you that is being left behind won't go quietly. You may find yourself wanting to quit or question if the change is even worth it. But here's the truth. It's in those very moments of resistance that growth begins to take root. Each time you push through, you gain strength. Each time you resist the urge to turn back, you reinforce who you are becoming. When resistance hits, reconnect with your why. Why did you begin this journey? What is it that you're really fighting for? Purpose fuels perseverance. And the more connected you are to your deeper reason, the more powerful your drive becomes. In the midst of all this, don't forget one more essential tool: self-reflection. As you move forward, take regular moments to pause and assess. Are your actions moving you closer to your vision? Are there habits helping or holding you back? What's working well and what might need adjusting? Self-reflection keeps your journey aligned. It's how you course correct, how you learn, and how you grow wiser through every step. So now, let's explore the final step that ties it all together: surrendering the journey to something greater than yourself. As we saw in the last part, self-reflection keeps you centered and consistent. But transformation isn't just about recognizing where you are. It's about being willing to step beyond where you've been. And that next step, it begins with embracing discomfort. Real growth never happens inside our comfort zones. Everything familiar, your daily habits, your routines, even your limiting beliefs, has shaped who you are right now. But becoming who you are meant to be requires something more. It demands stepping into unfamiliar territory, choosing courage over comfort, and walking into spaces that challenge you. Growth begins where certainty ends. Embracing discomfort means saying yes to the things that stretch you. It might be starting that project you've put off for years, having that difficult conversation, or showing up even when fear tells you to shrink back. These aren't easy moments, but they're the ones that shape you most. It's in these moments of friction, of vulnerability, where transformation truly unfolds. And as you walk through discomfort, remember this essential ingredient: patience. One of the biggest mistakes people make on the journey of change is expecting instant results. We live in a world that celebrates speed, quick fixes, and overnight success stories. But deep, lasting transformation, it doesn't work that way. It takes time to unravel years of conditioning, to rebuild habits, to create a life that reflects who you really are. There will be times when you feel like you're not moving fast enough, when progress feels invisible, when doubt creeps in. But don't let the slow pace fool you. Seeds don't sprout the moment they're planted, and neither does transformation. Every small decision you make today, the workout you show up for, the temptation you resist, the kind word you speak, these are bricks in the foundation of your future. So trust the process. Celebrate the little victories. Keep showing up even when no one is clapping. Because transformation is not a one-time event. It's a journey of becoming one step at a time. Now, let's close this powerful message with one final thought: surrendering your journey to a greater power. What happens when you stop trying to control everything and instead choose to trust in something beyond yourself? True transformation, as we explored before, isn't just about daily habits or external improvements. It's about a deep internal shift. It's about becoming, not just doing. Transformation is not a one-time event or a quick fix. It's a lifelong journey, one that unfolds through intentional, consistent choices made day after day. From the first moment you decide that change is necessary to the moment you take full ownership of your life and direction, every step counts. Each decision, each action, each challenge you push through contributes to the person you are becoming. At the heart of transformation lies clarity. A clear vision of who you want to be and what you want your life to look like. Paired with that vision must be a thoughtful, practical plan. But remember this, even the most perfect plan means nothing without action. It is only through doing, through waking up each day and choosing to move forward, that true growth takes root. Change is possible for everyone, but it requires more than desire. It takes courage to face discomfort, to step out of old patterns and beliefs. It takes discipline to stay committed when motivation fades. And it takes resilience to get up every time you stumble, to keep going when the path feels long. The power to transform your life is already in your hands. When you decide to take responsibility for where you are, when you clarify your purpose and act with intention, you begin to build the life you were always meant to live. It's not about achieving perfection. It's about making progress, one small, faithful step at a time. And as you continue walking that path, you'll find yourself moving closer to a life filled with meaning, purpose, and deep fulfillment. Thank you for watching. I wish you strength, peace, and joy on your journey. May your days be full of health, happiness, and purpose. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more content like this.